I'm back again with a video about Soul Calibur 6, game I'm really looking forward to. I've enjoyed every single one of them except I didn't get to play 3, and 5 was iffy, but not horrible, but not the best. So that being in mind, here are some things, ideas, suggestions that would be great or really, you know, interesting to see in Soul Calibur 6. And things that, well, of course, hopefully they don't implement or put in. Number one, the campaign in 5. While it was different, it was bad. The hand drawn cutscenes and just the whole thing. It's been 6 years since this January since January 2018, pardon me, that since excuse me, Soul Calibur 5 came out for the previous consoles. So it's been a while, but it was bad. It was crappy. It was horrible. It focused on only two characters, Trocolos and one other. The names were so the characters were so uninspired and uninteresting that it's so easy to forget them. They were really crappy. How the campaign was handled was garbage. And if I remember correctly, they took out the individual character storyline things like in arcade. Why? That was a bad idea. That's something that needs to be back into the just needs to be back in Soul Calibur 6. Uh please, please, please don't bring back those two characters from 5. Just don't. All right? Just don't. From what I've seen, it doesn't seem like a likely thing, but just please don't cave into any pressure or whatever to bring them back. Even as DLC, please don't. Just keep them out. Let's see what else. Number 2. Uh, it's been such a long time since I've played a Soul Calibur game, because well, none has come out on the current system, so I can understand how it's a little difficult to think of things. But let's see. Well, a robust character creation system, you know. I will admit, as much as I dislike the campaign and some of the characters in Soul Calibur 5, the creation system was really fun to tinker with and use. It had a lot of stuff, and unlike a few other games, not very restrictive. You could do a lot of stuff, and it was fun. So, more of that in Soul Calibur 6. Of course, the additions of new things, of course, new, like, outfits and all that jazz, which I'm sure is going to be a given, but still. It'd be nice to see. Guest characters. It's been a thing since Soul Calibur 4. 4 with the Jedis was okay, yeah, it was cool, but it just kind of clashed too much. However, in Soul Calibur 5, they had Altair, Ezio Auditore or Altair from whatever, one of those guys from Assassin's Creed. He fit in a little bit better. He was okay. It's kind of boring. But in comparison to the guest characters from number 4, much better. Rumor has it that this is not confirmed yet by the creators of Soul Calibur 6, but rumor has it that they were the creators of Soul Calibur. Excuse me, tongue got twisted. The creators, blah, again, from Soul Calibur 6 and the developers of the Witcher series, CD Projekt Red, were in talks about a certain character joining, sorry, itchy nose, joining Soul Calibur 6, the roster. I think we all know, if rumors are to be true, who that is. Geralt of Rivia, Witcher, Monster Hunter extraordinaire. That would be very interesting and very awesome to see. So, if there's any like traction to these rumors, that would be great. And quite honestly, he would fit in a lot better than the previous two installments. Sure, Ezio was kind of around the time period, while the Star Wars characters were not even close. Not even close. Not even the same genre. Yes, it's science fiction. I guess you could say fantasy, but science fiction and Soul Calibur's fantasy don't really mix. Just seem kind of blah. But yes, it's rumored that Geralt of Rivia will be joining Soul Calibur 6, like I just said. So, that seems very awesome. Some new characters we've already seen in the trailers. Agent Black or Groh, Groh. I'm not even going to pronounce the name. I'd butcher the hell out of it. But that's a new character, which, that's cool. A couple other new characters would be nice. This is all part of number 3. Part of a more robust and extensive character roster. Soul Calibur, the franchise, has always been pretty good with the amount of characters you have at your fingertips to use. So, bringing that back to Soul Calibur 6 is definitely a must-have. I saw a screenshot from some YouTube videos here and there of what the basic layout would look like. Now, they said it wasn't that wasn't the finished product, so it may or may not look like that. However, it wasn't a bad setup. Excuse me. It wasn't a bad setup. It was pretty decent. And they've already shown off a few characters. Of course, Sophitia and Mitsurugi, of course. So those are some characters. There are 2 right there. There was Zhanghua, Keelik, Zaslamel, I hope I didn't butcher his name, and Ivy. So those are some of the characters. Oh, and plus Groh, the new one. So those are a few of the characters, and that was barely any of the top. Of course, Ivy and Zhanghua haven't been mentioned at the time of this screenshot release of the character layout. So that's probably 2 more slots filled in. But there were still a ton. Oh, I almost forgot Nightmare. So there's still a ton of vacant slots left. So that's a good thing. Number 4. If I remember correctly, Soul Calibur 4 was character creation was around 3, but I never got my hands on that. So it was 4 that after number 2. 4 had a ranking system from A all the way to S. However, as far as I know, you could not access any S tier quality gear for your characters. Unless there was a way to unlock that by finishing the 100th floor of the tower or something like that. Otherwise, I never saw any way to unlock that. Please don't do that. That's kind of a middle finger. Sure, it's oh yeah, it's more of a challenge, blah blah blah, but still, it's well, what gives? I'll never be able to access that tier of armor for stat wise. So it always puts them at an unfair disadvantage, the player. Sure, some people see that as a challenge, but I don't know. For me, I'd like to be able to unlock it. So if they do bring that tier system for gear, please make all tiers accessible. Weapons. Soul Calibur, the franchise, has always had a good variety of weapons, and by that I mean per character you can switch between the weapons and how they look. From a few of them, if I remember correctly, again, like I said, it's been a long time, give or take 6 years since I've played a Soul Calibur game. But if I remember correctly, they always had variations of the weapon for each individual character, and each had, unless it was like Siegfried or Nightmare. Of course, Nightmare would not have a Soul Calibur version of a Soul Edge, but they had different looks to each weapon. That was pretty cool. Unless it was the created character, that one had just one weapon, but you could always change it, so that was really cool. Bring that back. I'm interested to see what these weapons look like. Number 5, or 4. I'm on 4 now. Sorry, skip 4 altogether. Number 4, area transitions. A lot of fighting games have area transitions in them to where you can go from like one part to another. For an example, in Injustice 2, love it or hate it, it did area transitions really well. So did Injustice 1, but Injustice 2 kicked it up a notch. So, and also, I think it was Dead or Alive 5 or 6, one of those, 5 or 6 for Dead or Alive. It also had level transitions. I never really played it myself, but I heard it had level transitions in there. So more fighting titles are touching into, or pardon me, dabbling in area transitions. So that could be something that would be interesting to see in Soul Calibur 6. Hopefully this is not the last of the franchise. A lot of good franchises are either dying out or ending, and that's kind of a bummer. So I hope it's not the last we see of this really good weapon-based fighting game. Number 5. It's always been a thing that you can't use the guest character as a customizable a fighting style, pardon me, for your character customization. Maybe, I don't know, a little leeway on that, because I know I would love to see a friggin' created character with Geralt's fighting style, male or female. That would be awesome. Having 2 swords, 1 silver and 1 steel. That would be really freaking cool. So for number 5, some leeway on that whole restriction thing. I know they're supposed to be unique, but still, it would be so fun to do. Let's see, number 6. Story mode, actually. An actually good story mode. None of that hand-drawn cutscene crap. Put the focus back on the individual characters. Like in Soul Calibur 2, that was by far the best, hands down. I played 2, 4, 5. I've missed 1 and 3, but I heard some people liked how 3 was. I wasn't really a fan of it, but that's me. It's my opinion. But 2, hands down, was by far the best way that Soul Calibur has handled the storyline. 4 was okay. It wasn't bad at all, but it wasn't great. It was okay. So, if you could have the storyline in 6, kind of like it was in 2. For number 7, please, the arcade mode for the customizable characters, so you can at least have them like play through a little mini campaign, like in 4. Depending on what fighting style you use, would determine what sword at the end your character had. Soul Edge or Soul Calibur. Sorry, lips dry. But so that would be nice to see make a comeback in Soul Calibur 6. Number 7, this is for me, just personally. I don't know how many other people would feel about this, but no battle royale arena, no freaking battle royale anything. It would not work in a game like this ever. So many people are saying battle royals are the future. No, they're not. It's just a really shitty fad that should die out because it is cancerous to the gaming to gaming. To tie into that for number 7, please, 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 please. Soul Calibur has never done this, but a lot of games are giving the middle finger. A lot of these games these days are giving the middle finger to offline players. Please, for the love of God, do not make this game online only. Or, as an example, with a really stupid move like Sledgehammer made with the last year's Call of Duty World War II, having a pre-requirement to have an internet connection to start up the game. You can install it, you can press start, but to do anything else, you need internet. And then you're fine. You don't need it any other time besides that. Please don't do that either. That is incredibly retarded and infuriatingly stupid. So, yeah. Every previous title has been offline with online multiplayer components. That's fine. But please, 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 please keep those offline components still in the game. There are still people out there who like to bring some friends over, sit on their couch, and do a little offline versus mode. That's still a thing. Please keep that in mind. That's for number 7. For number 8, I guess, even though I'll never really be accessing this, no internet. That blows. But dedicated servers for the online multiplayer. I've heard that's been kind of an issue was an issue in 5 for a long time. So for those people who play multiplayer online, dedicated servers, decent matchmaking. I heard though, even though it was an issue in the beginning, it did get taken care of a little bit later down the line. Okay, but still, it would say a lot if there were dedicated servers and good online matchmaking, right off the bat. I'm sure it's hard to do, but it would put you guys in a really good light against so many other titles, just from any game in particular, that have horrendous online matchmaking and server connectivity. Let's see, number 9. Microtransactions, something that needs to be touch base with all titles. Please, 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 please don't put any microtransactions in the game. Please. Okay? While other developers and other publishers are forcing developers, and some developers, yes, are agreeing with it, please don't give in and have microtransactions in this game. I don't know how it would be implemented, but I could fathom a guess how it could be. I know it was a contradiction of what I just said, but just thought of it. And they could probably do something on the lines of like, oh hey, you see this cool super weapon? Instead of being able to earn it in a normal fashion, we're going to make it take, 10 to 15 hours to unlock. through progress in blah blah blah, or earning in-game credits by completing matches. Or you can sidestep all of that and pay $3 to $5 for this awesome weapon. No. Please don't do that. Or locking character skins behind microtransactions. Dear God, no. Please, just no. Soul Calibur has always been a unlocking things and characters and weapons through progression of gameplay, not money. This ties into the microtransaction thing. DLC is a thing. It's always going to be a thing. So, if that was sorry for 7 still. DLC, it's a thing. Season Pass, I don't know really how I feel about that for a game like Soul Calibur. I feel there really shouldn't be a Season Pass unless you have like a steady stream of characters that you make through the lifetime of the game's lifespan. Or, sorry, through the lifespan of the game. Whatever you want to say. Then yes, I could see a Season Pass. Because, again, I will reference Injustice 2. They had a gaggle of freaking characters that came after the game's release. Anyone who's not hiding under a rock and plays fighting games knows what I'm talking about, so I don't really need to go through that extensive list of 9 characters. Some were questionable. Now, I know, like, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I saw it, it looked, like, handled okay, but I just, for that game, how would the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fit in with Injustice? I honestly don't know. Which brings me to number 10. Wait. Sorry. I think 9. I said 9 already. But number 10. If you do plan to have a season pass and have a certain amount of characters, please make sure they, I don't know, fit the theme of the game, like the area. Or yes, if you want to make like a time traveling character, kind of like Zasalamel, he's already in there. You have a time traveling kind of guy, an immortal or what have you. At least have the tone of the character fit, if you kind of get what I mean. Because there are games out there that have characters that just make you scratch your head and think, what were they thinking putting that in there? And then, you'll have the minority of those people like, oh, this is really cool, I like this character. But the majority will just look at it like, I paid money for this character? Why? A character that wasn't DLC, this actually comes to mind, with Soul Calibur. It was in the PSP version, Broken Souls. I don't remember his name because he was just one weird looking motherfucker. But he had a very long mustache, kind of like a little bad guy mustache, a little twirling like this. It goes up in a little curly key with a top hat and I think a purple coat, not a long coat, but like a purple jacket or something like that. And I think he had a French name. I'm not sure. But if you're curious what I even mean by that character, just look up PSP Soul Calibur Broken Destiny, Broken Souls, one of those two. I don't remember. It's been years since that came out. But yeah, that character actually kind of goes exactly with what I was talking about for having characters that fit the game's mood and tone. He was just goofy. And not in a good way. He was goofy in a almost cringeworthy way. He was just out of context. It didn't fit. So those are my 10 ideas, suggestions, do's and don'ts of what I'd like to see in Soul Calibur 6 coming out this year. Hopefully sometime soon. But if I had to make a guess on when it's going to be released, it's probably going to be in October. Sorry for everyone out there who has a September birthday like myself. We always kind of get shafted when it comes to game releases. Even though the game could probably be completely finished by September. They just... October. Don't know why. But hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe it'll come out in September this year. That would be great. Or sooner. But... yeah. I'll see you next video, whenever that is.